Hey guys, it's Bobby. Welcome back to Kerns Korner. Now to start off this week's episode, we're going to be jumping into some thoughts that I wrote down this week and some things that I just found funny. They're going to be a bunch of random things. It's not really one topic. So let's begin. Number 1. If you say Father God or Amen more than 7 times in the middle of your prayer just as a filler, I think you need to reevaluate your praying abilities. Like, I'm not saying you're bad at praying. I'm just saying that it's kind of distracting that you keep constantly reminding us who you're talking to. It's like if I was having a conversation with my friend Joe and I went, "Hey Joe, what do you want to eat today?" I mean, Joe, I heard that like down the street there's like this Ruby Tuesdays and it's like really good and they have these really amazing like new thing on the menu. Joe, you have to try. Joe. I'm sure if I did that, Joe would smack me. Just saying. Number 2. The name Lynchburg, Virginia unsettles me. And I think I'm justified. And that's all. Number 3. I went to an event the other day sponsored by KFC and Alexander's Funeral Home. Are we not trying to like hide the correlation anymore? Like what? What? Number 4. I like eating dinner with white people. What I've found is that when white people eat dinner, they tend to talk about more happier thoughts. Like, hey, remember that time we got engaged? Hey, remember that time we went to that little town and like rode the thing and did the stuff? Like, they talk about nice, happy, uplifting, encouraging, K-love things. However, for some strange reason, when black people tend to sit down, sure, sometimes we talk about the happy things, but we oftentimes somehow get on sad subjects. Hey, y'all remember when old Bessie broke down on the highway? Yeah, I remember that. That was a time. I remember back when black folks couldn't take the bus. We had to walk 7 miles to school. It's like, come on. Happy things.
Think of the happiest things. It's the same as having wings.
Number 5. What's up with people who say "you know" at the end of every sentence? Like, are you like trying to constantly make sure that everyone's like keeping up with you, like that you haven't lost anybody? Also, I may or may not be one of those people that do that, and yes, we are. Number 6. Do you know what it feels like to be the only black person in line for the Alcatraz prison tour? It feels like a mistake, that's what it feels like. Number 7. If I was Jesus, I would have been born in the 21st century. I mean, it only makes sense. If you're in the 21st century, then your 12 disciples no longer have to be fishermen that you've unemployed. They can be Uber drivers that drive you around, because ain't nobody got time to be walking across the United States. It just ain't happening. Or, better yet, we would be a biker gang, and my first miracle would be turning our empty gas tanks into full gas tanks every morning. Because priorities.
Whoa. You've been running around, throwing that dirt all on my name. 'Cause you knew that I'd call you up. You've been going around every party in LA. 'Cause you knew that I'd be at one. Oh, I know that dress is gone, perfume regret. Got me thinking about when you were mine. And now I'm all up on you, what you expect. You're not coming home with me tonight. You just want attention, you don't want my heart. Maybe you just hate the thought of me with someone new. Yeah, you just want attention. I knew from the start. You're just making sure I'm never getting over you. You've been running around, throwing that dirt all on my name. 'Cause you knew that I'd call you up. Oh, now that we're right here standing face to face. You already know that you want. Oh, I know that dress is gone, you regret. You got me thinking about when you were mine. Oh, and now I'm all up on you. What you expect, but you're not coming home with me tonight. You just want attention. You don't want my heart. Maybe you just hate the thought of me with someone new. Yeah, you just want attention. I knew from the start. You're just making sure I'm never getting over you, over you.
What are you doing?
What are you doing now?
What are you doing? What are you doing?
You just want attention.
What are you doing?
I knew from the start. You're just making sure I'm never getting over you. I know that dress is karma, perfume regret. Got me thinking about when you were mine. And now I'm all up on you. What you expect? You're not coming home with me tonight. You just want attention. You don't want my heart. You just hate the thought of me with someone new. Yeah, you just want attention. I knew from the start. You're just making sure I'm never getting over you, over you.
What are you doing?
Hey!
What are you doing?
What are you doing now?
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Say you
now?
want attention.
What are you doing?
I knew from the start. You're just making sure I'm never getting over you. Oh,
What are you doing? What are you doing now? What are you doing? What are you doing?
yeah, you
now?
just want attention.
What are you
I knew
doing?
from the
What
start.
are you doing
You're
now?
just making sure I'm never getting over you. Ah. So in this segment of First Things First, we're going to be talking about two things that I did for the first time last week. The first thing, my family went on vacation to Florida. That's not the new thing. We went on vacation to Florida, and for the first time ever, we went to the Holy Land Experience in Orlando. Now, for those of you who don't know what the Holy Land Experience is, let me explain. The Holy Land Experience is a Bible-based theme park in Orlando, Florida, that was started by Paul and Jan Crouch of TBN, the Trinity Broadcasting Network. When I was a kid, we used to watch TBN all the time, like the Praise the Lord episodes, and we used to see the different times they would like show footage of the Holy Land. And my mom was like, I even remember when they were like building the Holy Land, when they were like talking about like building the theme park, and they were like walking through and showing you all the different things. And I was like, I just barely remember some of the commercials because I was like, I don't even know how old I was, but I was like really young. But I remember like my entire life, essentially, my mom has been talking about wanting to go. It's been like one of the top things that she's wanted to do, like as long as I can remember. So we finally got to go, and it was pretty great. I mean, it lived up to like the hype. Essentially, it's a theme park, but its main focus is on like drama. So there's a show. They have a show that's like got a through line. But it's split up into different segments. So there's like 4 or 5 different times where you go back to the main theater, and there's an hour break in between to where you can go see other things in the park and then come back. And so people can leave and come back so they don't have you sitting there for like 4 hours. It's pretty cool how they do it. And some of you know that I'm writing a musical based on the Bible. And it's a big endeavor. And so it was really interesting to see how other people like essentially took on the task of like adapting certain Bible stories, and how they made a through line, because that's one of the things that I'm like messing around with now. I've seen Narrowway do that's a theater in like on the border of North and South Carolina. They're a Christian theater that does shows like that, and then the Holy Land Experience did that, and then Sight and Sound has done extreme, like they're insane. Like their stage is like the biggest stage, like I want to say like one of the biggest, or like the biggest like theater stage actually ever. Like it's actually insane. Like I'm not even making that up. Like I'll put up a picture. It's like actually insane. It like wraps around you. It's like a 3-part stage. It's ridiculous. But seeing Christian theater done on 3 different levels has really helped me figure out kind of what I want to do for mine. So that was a great first thing to do, to go to the Holy Land Experience and see kind of how they do things. The second first thing that's seven. The second first thing that I did this week was I went to my first concert ever. Yeah, I've been on this earth 20 years old. I taught myself how to play piano. I am the music man for multiple people
and I've never been to a concert. Yeah, that's somehow that happened. But yeah, I went to my first concert, and if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, you know I went to the Charlie Puth concert last Friday with Haley Steinfeld. Well, I didn't go with Haley Steinfeld. She was also there. She was the opener. But yo. If you've seen on Instagram, I've been posting a bunch of pictures, and while I'm talking, I'm just gonna flash a bunch of pictures up. Mainly because I took a lot of pictures. Like a lot of pictures. So Charlie Puth is an artist that I've come to like a lot over the past, I'd say 9 months-ish, maybe. He is truly insane in the best way possible. First thing, Charlie has perfect pitch. That means if I do this, he can tell me what note that was. If I do this, he can tell me what note that was. Like, not the initial note, but the reverb of the note that like was up the thing. Like, he's insane. Like, he can tell me what note that was. He can tell me what those 4 notes were. Like, it's actually insane. I was watching an interview. Someone was outside of the door where he was being interviewed. He was in mid-conversation, mid-interview. Someone squeaks their shoe outside the door. He stops, says that the note is a G sharp, and he's right.
The drums live, but I'm sampling the drums and I'm hitting and like recording them. Someone just squeaked their foot outside. It was a G sharp.
It's a G sharp.
Sorry if I don't say it, it's like OCD. If I don't say it, if I don't let it out of my mind, like, okay, it's been said, I can move on with what I was saying. Okay, so
when Charlie was a kid, I think he was raised like Catholic or whatever, and so he went to mass one day and organist just wasn't there. And so they were just gonna like play a track for like the music for like the entire service. Nah, Charlie, like 11 years old, gets up, plays the entire thing from memory. He's never played it before, and he played it from memory. And he's never played it. Like, how does that work? Like, I play in church all the time, and you telling me I would have to play an entire service by memory? I play by ear. I need to at least like hear it to mimic it. He was like, nah, I got this. Homie ain't here? Nah, watch out. Like, what? That's crazy. Next thing, Charlie is like a jazz musician. It's even infused into his music. He's got like jazz chords and like all of these different progressions and stuff that's not normally in pop music, and that's what I really like about him. It's like really the musical thing that like gets me. And I was watching an interview actually earlier today, and he was talking about I only put in enough jazz to make it like sound different but not jarring or like weird or whatever. And I was like, that's it. He likes bringing different elements of things into pop music and like making it different, and I love that. Also, hearing him improvise live was actually insane. I don't remember what song it was. Wait. What song was it? It was Boy. The song Boy. I love that song. And inside of the official track on his album, he's got a part where he like improvises on piano, and it's great. It's one of the best parts of like that song and the album, in my opinion. When he did it live, they left like a giant break for him. Dude went ham. Like, it is actually insane. Like, it's crazy, and I don't know. So aside from those things, I actually like his music as well, like the stuff that he's produced. Like, and the things he's produced. His entire album that he just like put out, Voice Notes, the ones he's on tour for, he produced the entire thing himself. Like, that's all him. Like that's Charlie. Like he makes his own like tracks and all. Charlie is me times 10,000. All of the track production and all that, it's all him. Everything's on him. Just from him, his house, his tour bus, wherever he's producing. I find that insane, and I want to do that someday. I'm already doing that now on a smaller scale. I just want to do that. I want to do that. But yeah, anyway, the concert. The concert was actually amazing. But yeah, it was just really fun to be able to go. For the longest time, I've always said that Pentatonix and Toby Mac have been my favorite just artists just in general. Toby Mac was my favorite like solo like singer, and Pentatonix was my favorite group. Well, I'm here to say Toby Mac can move over because Charlie Puth is like my favorite. Like, I'm telling you, Charlie Puth has been growing on me like so much. It was right after he came out with How Long? How long has this been going on? And that was a couple months ago before the album dropped. And I was listening to that and I was watching all the interviews and stuff. Like it had been a week and I was just like, this dude is amazing. And I wrote a song that was kind of like inspired by like his vibe and feel. And you got a preview, a little bit of a preview of it in last week's episode. It was Shot in the Dark. And yeah, that he like inspired that song just by his sound and different things. But yeah, the concert was absolutely amazing. The lights were insane. I have never heard people scream so loud. Like I work with music things and like sound equipment like all the time. I've had times where I'm like doing stuff for church and like the speakers will let out the most atrocious sounds and you deafened everyone in the building and it's like, well, that sucks. I've never heard anything like that before. My ears, like, you know the sound when a speaker is just busted, like you're in a car and then all of a sudden you turn it too loud and it's just gone? Like my ears did that and I was concerned. It was really dope though. My row was actually pretty empty for the most part and it was like great. It was only like maybe 5 other people in my row and the row seat like 20 people. So, and in no way was the concert like really empty. It was just people didn't buy that row for some reason. So I was like kind of on the end-ish kind of. So I like had like 5 seats on the side that I could just move between and take pictures. It was great because I was like seated in front of this like really tall dude, but like right beside him was this really short lady. And so it was perfect because I just hopped over and I took pictures over her head the entire time. Whether we were standing or sitting, it was perfect height because I could see everything. And then I even got to move like into the aisle because there was no one between my seat and all the way to the aisle. It was perfect. I'm just really excited because I had my first concert last Friday and then this coming Saturday, like you're watching this Wednesday, hopefully, if I'm not late in this episode. So Saturday, I'm going to see Pentatonix, which is literally my other favorite band, as I told you like earlier before. And I've always said that I wanted Toby Mac or Pentatonix to be my first concert that I ever went to. It didn't happen that way, and it's literally just because Charlie Puth is now one of my favorite like performers like ever, and I'm okay with that. Like I love Charlie Puth so much. Like his music, his style, it's all so great. And now I get to see Pentatonix on Saturday with my cousin, and that's just gonna be dope. That's all for this segment. I'm gonna stop talking about Charlie Puth, and yeah, just go to Instagram if you want to see all of these pictures and probably more, to be honest. Okay, so I know in the last segment I said I was gonna stop talking about Charlie Puth. I lied. I mean, the music cover for this week was Charlie Puth. The first time was Charlie Puth going to his concert. And now, the song suggestion is Voice Notes by Charlie Puth. Like, his entire album. Okay, it's not all. This is essentially just a Charlie Puth themed episode, and I'm okay with that. But regardless, Voice Notes, like, that's amazing. New album, go check that out. But I really like his older stuff too. 2 of the songs specifically, My Gospel and Dangerously. Those are just 2 really great songs. In My Gospel, he's singing about all the things that he'll do and like for a person just to make them like love him, and it's very, very vulnerable and very good. I don't know, it just makes you feel. You can resonate with him, and it's like I feel you, homie. Like that, he just loves this person so much that he's really just trying his hardest, and that's a great song. The other song of the week is Dangerously, and that song talks about just how love is essentially can be a dangerous thing. It's from his perspective, and he's talking about how dangerously he loved this person and how much he did and the effects that it's essentially having on him, and how even though he knows it's not necessarily like a good thing, he still like loves her anyway. And that's also something that can be like resonated with, and so I find those 2 songs very vulnerable, very very, very good songs. Charlie has said in his like past interviews that he's not the best at writing lyrics, but whoever he wrote these songs like with, like helped collab with, did a fantastic job because the emotion really comes through and the message just really comes through, and it's something that a lot of people can connect with. So the 3 things for this week in song suggestions is his new album Voice Notes, which I saw in concert, and then Dangerously, and then My Gospel. Those 3 songs. Essentially, those 2 songs are my top songs by him in all, and then Voice Notes just has a bunch of my favorite songs. There you go. Okay, so for photo of the week, you know what's coming. It's Charlie Puth. Okay, come on. I took thousands of pictures of that concert. Like, a lot of them were just like me going, but I mean just because I had to. Like, there's no possible, nothing stops. So I got a lot of great pictures. There's 3 photos of the week this week, and I'm not sorry about it. Okay, so the first one is just in the darkness, like just Charlie. I love this picture because when people look at it, they're gonna think that I edited this picture. Didn't do it. I didn't edit it. Like, literally, it's one of the parts of the songs where it's just, they cut all the lights out. It's just for a brief moment. They cut all the lights out, and it's just a spot on him, and it's just the craziest thing because like the symmetry in this photo and everything. I love it. All I did was like up the black. Like, all the black was already there. I just made it like, I sharpened it essentially. That's how I explained it to my mom. I just sharpened the picture, and yeah, that picture is dope. One of my favorite pictures I've ever taken. This next picture. More lights going crazy. I love all the colors in this photo, like the pinks and the oranges. It's just so great. And of course, it's just everything's working in this photo. And one of the hardest things actually was taking pictures in between people at this concert. Like, I was taller than the person that was right in front of me, so it kind of worked out that way. But I tried to get some like interesting framing shots done while people were like standing up and like waving their hands and all this stuff. And I just really like this picture because it really worked out, like with the crowd below and then him above. It just worked out perfectly. The third picture is just the most epic. Like, this actually might be this is probably like my top 3 favorite photos that I took at this thing, just because it's a great moment. It's really hard to get like good pictures at a concert when you're so far back because my telephoto lens makes it look like I was a lot closer. I was decently close. I was like in the middle, like in between like the stage and the lawn. So it's not like I was like right up there at the stage. So this was just a very good, like when I saw I got this picture, I was extremely happy. Yeah, that's about it. These 3 pictures are up on my at Bobby Kerns Productions Instagram account, as well as all the other pictures. You know where to find things by now. If you don't know, just Google me. So I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Kerns Korner. This was accidentally a Charlie Puth themed episode. We had some random thoughts in the beginning, then we had Charlie, then we ended it. And you know what? I'm okay with that. If you like this episode, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe so you can get new content every single week. Don't forget that God loves you, and so do I. I'll see you next time.